Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to a series with a story. And the story is about the Protoss player we're looking at right now. Over the past few months, tournaments have been collecting heart rate data during tournaments. And during one of these tournaments in Poland, a Polish LAN, one thing stood out is whenever people played against this particular Protoss player, their heart rates went up significantly. I believe the peak heart rate that was seen was 182, while being destroyed by the zealot spam out of Christianer over here. He was the player responsible for probably hours, months, days, years of people's lives being destroyed due to the stress induced by his gameplay. Why is that? What makes our good friend Christianer so special? Christianer plays what is often known as the most brain-dead style in pretty much every matchup. He will play a build that doesn't necessarily need to be the best, but will require the least amount of skill, where there are the lowest amount of mistakes that can be made. And then he'll just rinse and repeat. One of the moves that he's well known for is sacrificing his two adepts. There's not many things I don't want to do in life, but I would never want to be a cleaner at one of P. Diddy's parties, and I would not want to be an adept employed by Christianer. At least not one of the first two, because it's over, all right? You die. Often not even in a blaze of glory. Just in a blaze of nothing. This adept barely is going to be capable of escaping. Lucky man. 7 HP. Though these two links are going to continue chasing. Might be capable of getting that kill. Adept escapes actually with what? 1 HP? 1 HP. Beautiful stuff. 7 kills on that adept. Oracle shows up as well. It's going to get 1. It's going to get 2. It's going to get 3 kills over here into the main base. As Lambo struggling with Christianer's trademark early game. What else does he do? Why does he frustrate people so much? Well, Christianer is a player that loves playing Storm Immortal, okay? He does not do any of that Blink Stalker nonsense, or majority of the time doesn't do any of that Blink Stalker nonsense. He just likes life simple. 3 bases, 12 Immortals, 15 Templars, and we're moving across the map on 3.5 base. That is how it's done in Christianer's mind. We'll see if that's what we're going to be doing over here as well, as a Forge and a Twilight come down right about now. Melee upgrade on the way for Lambo. As the double Oracle makes its way over into the main base, perhaps we'll take a quick turn over towards the third. This drone's going to get sniped. Nice. Very neat play. Ooh. One Oracle is going to go down. Second Oracle in a little bit of trouble as well. 2 more drones did fall. Bring the total drone killed count up to 6. It's not actually that crazy of an amount. 2 more adepts coming in. We saw Glaives being researched, quickly cancelled. Robo over at the third base. So definitely wanting to move into those fast Immortals. 4 adepts now show up. I wonder if they're going to finish this shade. The answer is yes. Gonna get a couple more drones here. All of this is completely okay for Christianer. He does not seem to care about this at all. Gonna get a little bit of scouting information, sees the lack of extra gases. Saw the lack of extra gases here as well, so can probably assume that there's going to be a fast forward base. Not having any extra gas at this point in the game is quite rare, I think. Generally is quite rare. Fast Templar Archives, 5 minutes and what is this, 20 seconds? 5 minutes and 30 seconds, it gets built. Fast gases as well. Defensive position looking solid too. As we have this Oracle activated, recharge is going to be used as well. And Lambo, he knows what time it is. Well, I can only assume he knows what time it is. It is time for Immortals right now. 11 drones instantly start, and the extra gases are on the way. Range, attack upgrades, Roach Warren coming in. I think that was a response. I don't think this was a blind Roach Warren. I think this was a Roach Warren that he built seeing that robotics facility and then saying, okay, you're going for the robo facility. I think what I want to do is I get a 5 Overlord. Has to be a Roach all in here. 67 drones. We're not seeing anything else. There comes the first line of Roaches. I'm expecting Overlord speed as well to be added into the mix. That is a standard Lambo move, although this creep tumor maybe by itself is going to be good enough. Will be capable of eventually getting up to this ramp. One gas on the way. Christianer moves in to go for a scout. What does he see? Not a whole lot. Sees no workers over here on the 4th. Sees this fake gas. This is an obvious fake as well. So I don't think he's falling for this. Absolutely no way. Could definitely throw a revelation somewhere, and I think that is most likely what our good friend Christianer wants to do right now. A storm is about to finish up. He is looking for that revelation. Is he going to get it? No, he does not. Does not manage to track his opponent's army. He's going to go for another scout over here on the 4th. Now sees that roach, and I think he knows everything he needs to know. What are we expecting here? I'm expecting a zealot run-by to be set up. I'm expecting extra batteries. I'm expecting cannons. I'm expecting pure immortal. I'm surprised even to see this prism being constructed right now, as 2 zealots are going to get caught out of position. 8 ravagers start, and we have 4 Templar. 2 more on the way. It's going to bring the total up to 6. 6 Templar is a very serious number, as 2 zealots are going to hit this fort base, but there's nothing there to kill. 162 supply against 123. Let's see how Christianer is going to try and hold this push. 3 Immortals, 8 Templar, about 7-8 storms available. First storm hits about, well, pretty much nothing. Second storm connects with a couple of these Ravagers. Cannot afford himself to get pushed back here. No cannon, no battery in the natural. Could hurt, actually. That definitely could hurt. He wants to protect this area as roaches now slip in. Like the slippery eel he is, Lambo's going to start attacking some of the workers in the naturals. A couple of drones go down on the other side. Where did they come from? Is there a prism? There is a prism over here. Good storm. It's going to connect with at least this Ravager. This pylon's going to go down. Christianer continues to macro up. He adds in another Immortal. Zealots towards the natural are going to clean up the roaches that enter there. +2 over halfway done as well. Do we have more storms remaining? Yes, 2 more storms remaining. Energy recharge is going to be available another 15 seconds. So could allow him to get at least 1 more storm. Maybe 2 even if he warps in a new Templar as well. Archon's now being morphed. 139 supply to 113. 5 Immortals out. And with +2 about to finish up. I think Lambo is going to be in a world of trouble here. It looked very solid for a little bit for the German Zerg player, but right now, not so great anymore. The backbone of this army, the Immortals, largely stayed alive. We have 5 new Templar that have been warped in. We did not see Christianer float any money throughout this entire attack. He managed to spend it whenever anything came in. He was capable of spending that cash. That is a skill that is not admirable in real life, but in StarCraft II, very good, my dear friend. If you could take credit card debt in StarCraft II, like, that is something you definitely want. You borrow a little bit from the future, hell yeah. Lovely to see. As long as you pay it back in time, no problem. Christianer the King here was spending that cash so far. No new drones are being produced, as Lambo is going to most likely continue with his Roach Ravagers. Christianer decides to move out, which could be considered a weird thing. I mean, he's in such a superior position, all he needs to do is not die. Now perhaps he's giving Lambo an opportunity to make something happen here, maybe with this Roach attack. Immortal is about to pop out at the same time, these Templar, all in one big control group. 9 Templar are out over here, another storm is going to land on these Roaches. Pile's going to connect as well over here. Zealot plus Immortal is going to be capable of denying that. 10 drones have fallen again as the 3rd base goes down, and Lambo is in a bit of trouble. 52 to 59 workers. Zealot smashing these roaches to smithereens. Here get another big storm. There we go. Does not actually connect. Immortal moves in forward. Have we lost a single Immortal yet this game? Yes, we've lost 1. 5 Immortals still remaining. Val's trying to connect. Here comes the push in forward. More storms available. There's just nothing that these roaches can do. Archons are so aggressive here as well, as we get a big Zealot warp in, or at least I assume. No, just 2 for now. GG gets called as Christianer wins game number 1. Our heartthrob Protoss player with a solid win there. Lambo's gonna be upset by that, because I feel like he scouted what his opponent was doing, probably expected it. This was his response, and his response just simply did not work. It was Christianer there who got the long end of the stick, which is the good end. When you're drawing sticks, you don't want the short one for whatever reason. I don't think this was something we actually did growing up. Perhaps this is something, of a previous generation. Before there were more sophisticated, like this, it sounds more like a caveman strategy, Who goes hunting today? Oh. Grog got 2 sticks. 1 stick long, 1 stick short. Short stick, go hunt. Long stick, stay home. Eat. Alright. I feel like my parents did it as well, though. Boomers, eh? Can I ask them about the sticks? I think we sometimes did it with rope, though. You had to pull a rope. Like multiple ropes, and the person with the shortest bit of rope. That's already significantly more sophisticated, though, than sticks. Significantly more sophisticated than sticks. Especially if you can see the sticks beforehand, you know? You can remember the shape, which one is the longer, which one is the shorter one. Just pull the one that looks like the longer one. It's not that difficult. The long end of the stick. All right. What do we have here out of Christian? I'm expecting Stargate. One of his classic build orders, the one that I'm particularly fond of, is the Archon drop. Fast 4 gas, robotics facility, quick as well. Single Oracle, double adept chrono into double adept sacrifice. It actually is what is often referred to as a Christianer classic. And I'm a big fan of the Christianer classic. I think Protoss players, they look at Christianer and they wish they were more like him. They wish they were more hated by the Zergs. Yeah, Protoss players generally are pretty hated. Just because, you know, I don't know, everyone just hates Protoss players, that's how it is. But Christianer, he draws an extra bit of, you know, of pure hatred out there, out of the Zergs. And I think in StarCraft II, there's nothing better than being hated. That is what you want. You want people to be afraid of you. You want people to get emotional when they have to play you and upset and scared. You want them to feel embarrassed when they lose to you. That is ideal, because it means they're going to be playing significantly worse. Double Adept's going to shade into the main base here right now. Let's see what these bad boys are going to do. Oh, they're going to finish. No one could have seen it coming. Well, Lambo did, because he built freaking 15 links. It's going to catch these Adepts. Well, it's not an entire catch, but catchy enough if you ask me. Spore goes down instantly. Does not want to be too late with that once more. He's like, I've done it once. Not gonna get fooled again. But this is a hell of a wall. He's going to need to place another unit next to this, because this is not okay. We can actually just build a gateway here and then put it on. You know what? I actually find this okay. This is cool. I dig this. 4 stars. 5 stars. It's a decent star count. Oracle will need to be activated. 1 link goes down. So our boy is still hunting. Turns off the pulsar beam. Goes back. Drones are rotating over towards the 3rd base. As we're waiting for Lambo to show us his hand. What are your plans, my dear friend? Forge plus Twilight for now. Those are the initial plans. What are the follow-up plans here for the Lambo King? Losing 2 drones and killing no oracles. I don't think that was in the plans, but it is what happens. There's starting. Roach Warren on the way. I'd be shocked if this is charge again. It is charge again. That means I am shocked. Triple chrono as well. On probes. So there's no rush at all to get this out. Isn't that something, huh? Isn't that something? He just doesn't care. He says, you know what's real funny? Is if I just get my charge at a low pace. This Templar Archives is insanely quick. It is insanely quick. That is a fast Templar Archives. He's going to have Storm, what, like 7 minutes into the game. Storm takes 79 seconds. You chrono boosted, what, 3 times? I think that like 50, 56, 57 seconds or something like that. He's going to have that real freaking quick. Because Lambo starts 10 roaches. I'm not entirely sure what these roaches will be for. Is this some type of aggressive play that we're seeing out of Lambo? Does not have Overlord speed. So he's going to have to walk the queens across. He has 1 Overlord that can poop. Bring over a 2nd Overlord that can poop. A 53 drone roach all in. Meanwhile, we see Christianer adding in more and more gateways. He's preparing for a much later timing right now. The Lynx attack. Oh. What is our queen count? We have 3 queens that are moving across the map. And that is it. We're gonna have some transfuses available. That is something at least. That is going to be something. The second Overlord now starts pooping as well. Stalkers being warped in. Battery cannons not being here quite yet. Storm hasn't even started yet. We have 900 gas in the bank. This is why we don't see a lot of straight charge. It's because a lot of these Rocha-Lins, if they hit a bit too early, you have nothing. You have nothing to show for. Zealots don't work well against Roaches. And GG is going to get called as Lambo takes game number 2. I think that is Lambo's adaptation there then. It's just these faster Roach attacks. I wonder how Christiana is going to respond to this. I actually am very curious. Just that feels like such a hard counter to what he is doing. Like he's adding in 2 more gases. He's getting 6 more gateways. He hardly has any immortals out. He doesn't have Storm yet. He's getting rich, right? He has a lot of probes. He's getting a lot of minerals, a lot of gas. And there's nowhere really that he can spend it. Like he can build Stalker Sentry, but he's not gonna have Blink. It just feels bad. I wonder if one of the keys there for Christianer is to kind of identify the problem a bit faster. So say, okay, it's going to be a 53 drone Roach, and then just start pumping oracles. That has always been one of the most interesting responses to me, and especially with energy recharge being available nowadays, oracles can't really run out of energy. Like the moment you get 4 or 5 oracles, and there's only 3 queens, that is an issue for the Zerg player, right? So you're pretty much putting a timer on the push. It's like, okay, if I can survive 20, 30, 40 extra seconds, I'm going to have another 1.5 oracle out, you know? And if you're walking across the map, that maybe takes 30 seconds. So that's 1 oracle already. Then all of a sudden you have like 4.5, 5 oracles. There's 3 queens there. Even with a transfuse, like 5 oracles versus 3 queens, that is a one-sided battle. That is a very one-sided battle that the queens won't win. They just won't. Now, if there's 5 or 6 or 7 or 12 queens, different story, but that wasn't the case. And this push hits hard enough and fast enough that I wonder if 7 queens is something that is viable. I think the answer might actually be no. Because some queens need to stay behind to inject, right? I don't think there's enough time to add like 2, 3 extra queens while you're walking everything across. You might just not have the reinforcements you need. Just a single adept is out. Second adept making his way across right now. Is this a complete wall? I'm not even sure. This doesn't feel like a complete wall. It seems like there's a little bit of a hole here, but we'll see about that later. Eight Lynx is going to be the name of the game to deal with this double adept run by. And it's going to be a finish. This is 100%. 100% finish. Oh, yeah, there we go, baby. It's going to get a split shot. Ooh, doesn't get anything there either. A bunch of drones now moving into the main base. Kind of weird movement. Speed finishes up. I think this should be a recall at this point. No, says Christianer. No recall for me. I'm just going to get 2 drone kills. More mining time lost, so that's already on top of the mining time that we had early on. This Oracle is gonna come in right now. Spore needs another 6 seconds as the Oracle makes its way in. Do we have a Spore in the natural? The answer is no. Had Christianer committed there to the play towards the natural, he would have been capable of getting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12 workers. Okay, not 12, but 4 or 5. Very reasonable amount. Double gases. Oh, double gases before Forge, before Twilight. That is rare. I don't usually see that. I don't even think Christianer does that usually. He also has the money for the Forge Twilight, so I'm curious why we're not getting it yet. Doesn't seem to be like kind of a big mood to get those out ASAP. Once again, showcasing that he doesn't really care about the pressure onto the map. Robotics facility gets thrown down here 4 minutes and 35 seconds into the game. Let's see what he's gonna do. Oh, Oracle goes down. Lambo gets that kill. Lair on the way, 4 minutes and 50 seconds in. Evo chamber will start momentarily as well. Is it you? No. Where are you? Which drone is gonna turn into that Evo chamber? 3 workers have been killed, all on the side of Lambo. Christianer in charge of the killing. It's not a great Adeptor as. Probably gonna lose both Adepts without really getting anything meaningful done here. Yep, both Adepts go down. 51 workers to 54. And once more Lambo says, hey, I know something about you. You went to Cranbrook, that's a private school. And you're only building Immortals and Templar. And 6 gases really fast. And you have no scouting information. And I have Oracles on your side of the map and you're in trouble. That is what Lambo knows about Christianer. Same exact build order, twice in a row. Let's see, what are the adaptations that our good friend Christianer is working with here? He's adding in some Archons, for starters. He's adding in more batteries. 4 gateways total right now. He's adding 2 more. Stasis wards are being added at different locations. Not really helping out so far. Roach count is 9. 5 roaches, 4 ravagers. This is not necessarily a huge amount of units, is it? Once again, only 3 oracles. Once again, only 3 oracles. 1 queen in a little bit of trouble. Stasis ward comes down. Can we bile it? Can we bile it? Yes, we can. As it falls. We have 4 batteries down here. Oracle will need to help out defensively. Archon actually doing God's work here. So roach count just isn't that high. Lots of cash in the bank for Lambo. Lots of cash in the bank for Christianer as well. Let's face it. As the queens now have largely died, the Oracle is putting in a lot of work here. You have 12 kills on this bad boy already. All the anti-air disappears. And despite Christianer not having a lot of ground forces remaining, there are no anti-air forces remaining for Lambo. And that is going to be the real story here. Do we have extra queens on the way? No, not nearby. And this Oracle has infinite energy. We have a recharge available relatively soon. 4 batteries, all of them still alive. I think building a new Oracle here is completely fine. And you need to spend your money anyway, and you have that production available. Instead, we're going to start Storm and +2. Okay, wow. Christianer feeling very confident here in his defense, as 3 new queens are making their way across the map. And that all of a sudden is enough anti-air to help out against this push. Seven Ravagers soon. Very high roach count as well. No upgrades for Lambo though, as the queens are now moving on over. Immortals in the back actually pushing out a lot of damage. As we have 4 Immortals with +1. I mean, their damage output is so good right now. It's just so good. Get a 7 roach run by into the natural, but that does make this core army a little bit weaker. Queens are taking a bit of a beating as well. So we get an Immortal split off wanting to go into the natural. Lambo says, okay, you want to go into the natural? I don't think you have enough to actually kill my roaches. More and more biles raining down from the sky. I still believe that Oracle production here would eventually clean this up. But Christianer says, no, I'm gonna do it with 1k minerals and 600 gas in the bank. That's how real men do it. And I feel like this real man is potentially about to roll over and die. Oracle shows up. There is 1 queen in the back dishing out some damage. As the Archons plus Immortals are actually breaking through right now. Natural is being attacked still. 10 probes end up going down. 11 probes go down. 12 probes go down. But this gets pushed back. This Oracle has 18 kills. A lot of those Ravagers. A couple of those Roaches. And a bunch of Queens in there as well. This Archon with 29 kills. The Big Daddy Archon. Immortals 7, 12, 13. Other Archon on 9 kills. Like, these are units that have been around for so long. They have a lot of experience. It doesn't matter in StarCraft II, but it's still interesting to point out. They've seen a lot of battle. So we continue pumping more and more Immortals. Sentry gets added in. Ooh. Recharges the Sentry over recharging his Oracle. Perhaps the correct call, as more Queens are now showing up. And Creep is still around. Storm finishes up in 40 seconds from here on out. 40 seconds. That's how far we are away from Storm. Christianer makes, I think, the correct call into turning that 1 Templar that he had into an Archon. That feels correct. As Lambo wants to transition into Muta from here on out. Oh, this is just an A move. Christianer says, hey, nice armor you got there. Would be a shame if I were to A move it. No Guardian Shield used. Instead is going to go for the double force fields. Catches a bunch of these Roaches. Potentially the correct call there. As New Templar being warped in. Biles do connect with Immortals, but I think this should be it. As Christianer Made enough adaptations here. Had a good enough early game to say, cute build in that previous game. Send it again. Like it's a practice game. Just hit me once more, buddy. Hit me once more. 50 workers to 48 in favor of our Protoss player. There is still going to be a little surprise at some point. But I think this surprise is little enough that Cristiano just doesn't give a crap. This Ling run by could be scary though. This Ling run by is scary. This Ling run by is definitely scary. We're gonna get a full A move back home as 7, 8, 9, 10 workers go down instantly. Cristiano recalls a portion of his forces. I think into the main even. Yeah. 2 Zealots, 2 Archons. I don't think that's enough against this. Although they have +2, this is definitely not enough. Lings are gonna fall. Oh, maybe it is enough. Archon's not getting microed here. This is a lot of damage output. Man, upgrades are freaking busted. Lambo should consider getting these sometime. Holy cow. Muras are now out. Is Phoenix what we want against this? Or just more Archons? Lings are running by as well. Full on base rate mode out of Lambo. Well, Storm is pretty decent. There's just no anti-air in this army. I think Lambo realized, he's like, wait a second, you have like 1 Archon here, buddy. You have like 1 freaking Archon. That's not gonna be it. But at the same time, the base trade isn't complete. There's still mining going on. And I think this army might actually be too big. With the 1 Archon and the Storms for zoning, I think that Cristiano can actually fight this somewhat okay. Zealot's continuing to battle as well. Archon trying to kill these Muras. It's not quite succeeding though. So a lot of the drones are falling right now. More Zealots being sent across the map. Where is our Stargate? Our Stargate is here. Not a single Phoenix has been built yet. Not a single Phoenix has been built. As these Immortals now are being taken out. GG gets called. Cristiano gets game number 3. Honestly, impressively defended there out of Cristiano. That's Lambo attempted a hedge block here. That didn't quite work out. It actually did the opposite of working out. It failed. Oh, Nexus goes down. Pretty much at the correct time. This is expensive as hell. This is expensive as hell. Alright, let's talk a bit about it. Ooh, no, you can't. Oh, you can't allow that is what I was going to say. There's 2 things you can't allow with that drone. You can't allow it to block your natural, and you can't allow it to take your extractor. Because now playing Stargate is going to be significantly harder. Lambo can still cancel rebuild a couple of times as well. So this type of effort is generally considered to be pointless. But we'll see. Okay, she's going to finish it up. Not pointless after all. Double probes are going to get pulled. Triple probes are going to get pulled. And eventually this thing is going to fall. But this could have been prevented by having a probe at that gas. So if you right-click a probe or a drone on a gas and then you hold position, no one can build an assimilator or extractor there. So that is a decent way to stop someone from blocking it. That is actually the best way, the only way to stop someone from taking your extractor or your assimilator. Otherwise, assimilator builds would be way too strong. Sending a probe straight away across the map would be a fairly valid strategy in PvP at least, where you could steal one of your opponent's assimilators. Which would be a fun meta. It used to be a meta back in the day. They'd hide a probe and then steal both of your assimilators if you didn't respond quickly enough. Back when we still built gateways in the main base. I remember in Wings of Liberty this was quite common. They would run with a probe across the map, steal both of your gas, and you just lost the game. Oh, you can build a Zealots. Completely useless. So the other guy shows up with like 3 stalkers. They freaking 4-gate you after it. You're dead. The golden days. The golden days indeed. Adept is going to shade in. I can only imagine. That's something that Cristiano has been doing pretty consistently so far in this series. Just getting the boys in there. Should cancel that, yeah. Yeah, this actually was a very bad shade. It couldn't have done anything. We're even gonna get a recall right in the face of the Overlord as well. Lambo now knows that he can probably send his links across the map. I'm not sure if he's going to do that. He's going to want to do that. The first Oracle should be out. Where did it go? Oh, this is a wall. As in, it's not complete. So it's not a wall. Yeah, it's a bad wall. There he goes, rebuilding that gateway. That was expensive too. Where's that the Oracle? That first Oracle was late, no? What happened? What happened to you, buddy? I don't know what happened, but that first Oracle is fairly late, let me tell you. I'm not a PvZ specialist, but I know this is too late. Look at this. Spores are done everywhere. Queens are popping out at a high pace. This is not okay. This is absolutely not okay. Queen's moving over towards the third base as the Oracle shows up. There is one drone that goes down. Second drone gets attacked but turns into a spore and thus will survive. Gets cancelled. Lambo wants a bit more mining. After dealing so much damage to an Oracle, as he did here, it's probably completely fine as well. I don't mind it. Overlord is kind of in between the bases. Will get spotted every single time, but also sees a lot of stuff. 2 more gates on the way. Forge Twilight is late. I mean, this gotta be the charge stuff once more. Yep, there we go. Fast robotics facility. Is that in vision of Lambo's stuff? Does he see? No, he hasn't seen it. He can check this with a link pretty consistently. Lambo with a fast fort, similar to in the game on Last Fantasy, I think. We saw that very fast fort base. Didn't end up really doing a whole lot for him. But at least we're expecting a different build from the previous game. Previous games, I should say, because he did it twice in a row now. Templar Archives on the way. 2 more gateways. That's going to bring the total up to 6. I'm expecting gases and now an infestation, or an evo chamber, not an infestation pit. So what are we wanting to scout? Probably want to see what the count of gases is over here. Wanting to see what pops out of these eggs. I think that is very reasonable. I think that is extremely reasonable as 11 more drones get constructed. I think Lambo wanted to perhaps go for a roach attack again, but I think he's coming back onto that. Maybe he doesn't feel so comfortable. 10 gateways for Christianer. As he adds in a prism. Infestation pit coming in. That's going to be Hydra then. Okay. I've seen Swarm Host before against this particular style. The Immortal Archon Storm style. That's not what we're seeing right now. Very low worker count out of Lambo. And I think if you're Christianer, it is not crazy to assume that this is going to be another roach all-in. I think that is a fairly decent thing to assume here. Because these drones aren't here quite yet. And you've scouted it a couple of times now. You're not getting any info. You're seeing roaches as well. You've seen roaches before on your side of the map. Everything's turning into Archons as well as we speak. So most likely Christiana here is preparing for another all-in. Now he's going to come in with the scout. Hits it. Sees a lot of drones but doesn't see the extra gases. Is this enough to trigger something? To trigger Storm to start at least. So far the answer is no. +2 hasn't started quite yet either. 2 Immortals are out. Okay, Storm in +2. Here we go. A bunch of random zealots on the map. I kind of like that. I think that's kind of cute. Prism is running in as well. These zealots are going to get cleared by the Ling Roach. And here comes the Prism heading into the main base. Ay. That's the end of that Prism. Well, stays alive. Spinecrawler, Lurker Den. 7 more Overlords. And Muscular Augments as well on the way. This is such a weird setup that he has for himself. Still no fort base, by the way. I think this is when Zergs complain about this. This is what they complain about. It's like, this guy is not trying to play a game. He's just setting up for a 3-base timing that he does every single game. That is what he does. That is why Zergs don't enjoy playing against him. They know exactly what he's gonna do. And they don't know how to counter it. They don't know how to consistently counter it. They're angry because they aren't as smart as Christianer. That is the reality of things. Or perhaps the other tosses aren't as smart as Christianer. Because they haven't figured out that they can just stay on 3-base forever, apparently. So here comes Christianer with his large force. A bunch of storms in the mix. One storm does nothing. Zealot Runby comes in. He's going to try to fight. No, will fail. We have 10 gateways. Let's not forget about that. This base is toast. Christianer throws down a storm. Loses all of his zealots on the right side. And it's actually not doing too hot on this side either. 12 gateways. He went 12 gateways from 3 bases. Now warping up a bunch more zealots into this fight. It's actually gonna win this most likely. Or at least force it back. Has killed this base on the bottom side as well. Now throws down a fort behind all of this. This is such a a funny style, a funky style to play. Prism is gonna die. Yep, this time it does die. Cristiano can't keep it alive for a second time. His army is still alive. 4 more Templar being warped in. Another Immortal. More Zealots running across the map. This run-by should not be capable of doing anything. Might catch these Zealots though, and that in and by itself would be pretty freaking big. Do we still have Oracles available? No, we don't. No Oracles here are available. Zealots coming back. More Zealots being warped in. Are going to try to get the surround here. Pulls back. At a moment where I felt like he might have been capable of doing it. Templar count is still good. Immortal count is at 5. Lurker count at 7. I think Cristiano with a slightly stronger army, especially when on the move. Aggressively posturing. Get potentially 1 Lurker here. Gets 1. Gets 2. Here comes the flank. Is Cristiano ready for this? A set of bad storms partially on top of himself. Not a whole lot on the Hydras here, as Hydra Roach flank is going to clear this army. And without a fort base, without a second Robo, rebuilding this army is going to be very, very difficult. I mean, the fort is done right now, but he hasn't been mining from it, so his cash is actually quite low. Cristiano is extremely reliant on taking good fights. His resources lost needs to be positive for him in order to win, because he's not outmining his opponents ever in any game. That is not what his goal is. His goal is to take good fights, good trades, every single time, again and again and again. Losing that Prism as he did was obviously very bad for him, but it is what happened. Oh. Losing the Oracle sucks massively, by the way. Not being capable of seeing these guys, not being capable of throwing down stasis wards when you want to. Like, these are all pretty vital to Protoss survival. As this is going to be a very winning fight, by the way, for Cristiano. Lambo should not be trying to set up shop over here with these Lurkers. There is a single Spore over here. Lambo's going to commit to the base trade. Has 4 more Lurkers on the way. Cristiano does not want to commit. Maybe he should have, though. Maybe he should have tried clearing these Lurkers before it is too late. And I think it is too late right about now. Here comes some aggressive storms moving through the choke. As Lambo is holding on for now. Immortals in the back dealing a lot of damage. GG gets called. As the series is all tied up 2-2. And with that 2-2 score comes the promise of a 5th game. And it's a promise these players will deliver on, as we're here on Pylon. Our final map in the best of 5. Stargate once more coming out of Cristiano. So I understand why people get upset playing against him. I understand why their heart rate goes up. I can feel it, I can smell it. He plays some frustrating StarCraft II. He absolutely does. Like, that fort base in the previous game was not a real fort base. It was a fake fort base. And don't forget that this was a game where he made the incorrect read. He went triple Archon before he went Stormers. He thought he was being all-in for a very long time. And then once he realized he wasn't, he went into overdrive. 12 gateways off of 3 bases. Zealot run-bys that weren't super effective. His initial push still managed to kill his opponent's 3rd or 4th base. And he gets pretty close, but not close enough. The surround that Lambo went for was simply too good. Too strong, and the storm's not powerful enough. Here comes Cristiano. This is going to finish up 100% of the time. 100% of the time. There we go. That's 1 drone. That's 2 drones. Whoa! Adept gets stuck. Oh yeah, freaking stubs his toe onto the corner of the kitchen. I can't walk through as a result. He's gonna regret that big time. The first Oracle is now out. It was that previous game with that weird late Oracle timing, no? 4 minutes the first Oracle came out. That's when the first Oracle was supposed to hit like 350, I guess. I didn't know it was that fast, but it did feel wrong to not have an Oracle for the first 4 minutes. Oh. We're going back to basic. This is the standard Cristiano. This is that Archon drop that we've heard so much about. 2 drones have gone down, by the way. Adept is going to survive as well. So it is 4 gas before 3rd base. Twilight, Robo, 2 extra gateways. Well, 3 extra gateways, really. Oracle needs to make his way back home. It's just going to be a single Oracle with this build order, by the way. Just a single build order, and this is going to be another Adept. Robo is not in the wall, but has been spotted by Lambo, so Lambo knows exactly what the hell is going on. Prism on the way. Templar Archives, 4 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. This is a fast Templar Archives. Gonna see an Archon drop. That is the plan. That is the plan, nothing more, nothing less. 440 on that 3rd base, by the way. Is that a good timing? That is a fine timing. That is a fine timing for a base after 4 gateways, after some major tech. Lambo has gotten the confirmation as well. He knew already once he saw that robo. He knew what was happening, but he just got the confirmation. The double confirmation, the triple confirmation. That he was right about his initial call. 2 adepts are actually shading in and are going to deal quite a bit of indirect damage. Oh. This is really close by. Dude, this is legit in the face of danger, huh? Oh, Prism in some trouble. Prism in some trouble. Prism in some trouble. Here come the Archons. That is -1 link. That's -3 links. Here goes the Overlord as well. Oh, Roach Warren isn't done yet. Supply block for Lambo. He knew what was happening, but he is not prepared. Ay. This is me in high school. We have a test tomorrow. All right. I'll play Warcraft 3 for the rest of the night. Another 2. That's not great. And this is Lambo. Sees the Robo. Scouts the Templar Archives. Roach Warren too late. Queen's not in position. Link's not in position. He's going to move the Spore a little bit further forward. This was terrible. This was awful for Lambo. This is as bad as it's going to get. 5 workers have been killed already. We're going to get the pickup. Could kill some more Links. He probably just wants to heal those Archons at this point. Stasis over here on the fort base as the drone's going to move towards the right to create a fort. Archon's coming back in. We'll get the snipe here on the Queen. Ah, but Lambo is getting destroyed here. He is getting fooled. He's getting taken for a fool by Christianer, who already is up to 6 gases, who already has 2 Immortals out, who's building a 3rd one, has this Archon drop mowing around the map. Hydra then behind. Ooh, Hydra then behind this. And Infestation Pit. Okay, so still Lurker. We're still looking at Lurkers. We're still looking for a Lurker build. Another Archon gets morphed here. Almost feels like Christianer wants to go for an Archon Zealot Immortal push rather than going for a Storm push. Okay, now here comes Storm. Archon's still alive. 11 kills and 10 kills respectively. For everyone keeping track at home, that is 21 kills total. Oracle's gonna make its way over towards the natural. Yeah, Lambo has nothing. Lambo is down in supply. Lambo is down in supply right now. Low worker count as well. It's adding more Hydras into the mix. Here comes Christianer with a push out. No Stormers quite yet in the mix. Lings are gonna hit the 3rd base. See what they can do. +1 not available for these Zealots. The Lings are gonna connect. And here comes the push. Queens go down. Ling run by is phenomenal. That is a lot of workers going down here at a very high pace. 9 workers went down already. You can rebuild those. And this base, I mean, it can also be rebuilt, but it is gone. It is gone right now. Templars on the way being warped in, I guess, because Storm is about to finish up. We have a lot of Hydras. Don't forget, Lambo isn't even on Hive yet, or is even on the way to Hive. Doesn't have a Lurker then. Christianer so far ahead at this moment. So far ahead. This Templar warping, though, could have come at a better timing. It's going to stay alive for now. Zealot attack towards the right with the Prism. You have 5 Immortals, 4 Immortals, 5 Immortals. 5 Immortals, 5 Templar, 61 workers, and a pure Hydra force. No Lurker then. No Hive. No fort base. 6 gas mining versus 6 gas mining. I think Christianer has done it. I think Christianer has actually done it. I don't think there is a way for Lambo to maneuver out of this situation. He's going to try here with a large counterattack, maybe with a flank. These are the only 2 options as the Prism makes its way into the main base. There is a Spore available. If Christianer flies into that Spore, that would help Lambo massively. Christianer's going to fly into that Spore. This is helping Lambo a decent amount. At the same time, we have a battle going on over here. No reinforcements available. Let's not forget about this. Prism has officially died right now. As we're backing into another Spore. Observer is going to die. Here comes the Hydra flank from the top. 2, 3 more Storms available. 0 Storms available right now. Another Zealot flank is coming in. We still have those 8 gateways. Another Immortal shows up as well. 2 Immortals clearing that Assimilator. Not the greatest use of DPS. Another Assimilator is getting absolutely blasted here. A lot of damage being lost. Christianer still ahead. But a fort base is now up for Lambo, who is going into a Lurker Den and into Nanomuscular Swell. Oh, his heart is pumping right now, big time. And I feel like Cristiano's is too. I feel like he's pumping pretty fast as well here. 7 gateways. 7 immortals. 8... no, there's a prism, not an immortal on the way. Link's wanting to go for a run by, but without upgrades against potential Zealot Warpins usually doesn't really work. So Lambo's going to hit the run by into the natural. Splits off 5 links into the net. 7, 8 links into the main. 1 Zealot Warpin comes in. I think that Zealot's going to be capable of cleaning up everything. Here comes the attack. Right side also being attacked. More Zealots being warped in, and this will get cleared. Here comes Cristiano once more. Has the Immortals, has the Zealots, has the Templar in the mix. Can he attack into this beautiful concave that Lambo is setting up? With the nanomuscular swell, the lunge that is now completed. +2 finishing up in 5 seconds. Lurkers on the way, here we go. This is a beautiful angle. This is a beautiful angle for Lambo. This is the best angle that he could have hoped for. Storm misses. Next Storm kind of hits big time, but this Prism can set up shop. No reinforcements available into the fight as Templars reinforce through the Hydra spines. That is not what you want. Lurkers now sieging up as well as Lambo takes a 40 supply lead all of a sudden. Does not have the seismic spines. Doesn't even have a high lurker count. But has a bit of hope. 4 base versus 4 base. Even worker count. Theoretically, should not be losable for Cristiano. But he's made it significantly harder for himself now that he's down in supply. But usually you look at a situation like we just had and it's going to be tough for the Zerg. Get a full recall here to the top right. Everything gets recalled. The rest of the lurkers start moving to the left. We have 7 lurkers. Once again, a base trade. Lambo still doesn't want to straight up engage into this Zealot Immortal Archon army. Instead, preferring to go for base trades, little counterattacks. Well, little counterattacks, significant counterattacks. Making sure that the game doesn't remain stable. This army on the right is going to get pushed back. Army in the middle will stay competitive. Immortal's going to die walking through these seismic spines. At the same time, Observer is nearby. Good storms on top of this army, by the way. Very well executed by Cristiano. This is a good fight on the right side. The problem, I think, might be over here, although I say that. And an Immortal and a Zealot are going to clean that up. Main base is now a little bit, you know, compromised. This area still hasn't been completely cleaned up either. GG gets called. As Lambo's going to win the series. I think Cristiano didn't realize how good of a position he was in when he did these attacks. Because this was very close until the very end. And Lambo, with the 3-2, will win.